I'm back. That little voice inside your head. I know you're busy taking care of business and all, but seriously, you need to know about all the Cyber Week deals at Office Depot Office Max. All week long, get up to 60% off select furniture and seating, and 50% off a wireless Epson printer. Just $49.99. Plus even more Cyber Week deals at OfficeDepot.com. Go ahead, you deserve it. Office Depot, Office Max.
Taking care of business.
Offers end 12/2, while supplies last.
So, what do you want to talk about today? You want to just
care. Whatever. I'm just kind of two
right.
things pissed me off today.
Is it the Miami Heat?
One, no, come on, dude. No, I don't care about them. No,
right.
No, I don't care about the Boston loss. The Thunder. The Thunder did a good thing. They beat Golden State for the first time in like 7 tries. You know, I think we all seen the graphic about how, you know, the futility that Russell Westbrook experiences playing Golden State. His numbers are terrible. His shooting is terrible. No, his scoring's fine, but his shooting and his efficiency is terrible. And he turns the ball over a lot. And they're like 0-7. And ever since KD left, it's been embarrassing. And everybody kind of felt bad for him. So they did a good thing by beating Golden State. You know, it's a rousing win. They were up by like 25 late, middle of the game, middle of the fourth, whatever. They cheapened it by keeping Russ in and going for his triple-double. Right? And I think, to me, this kind of shit matters, man. It matters that they do that kind of stuff, and it kind of takes the bloom off the rose. And that's why I think, like, they turn around and lose tonight to the Pistons.
Come on, right? The Pistons juggernaut?
Look, the Pistons are good. They are good, but the Thunder are led by like 15 halfway through the third. You know what I mean? And like, I just looked it up. I went out for dinner tonight. You know, I saw that. I knew Pistons were going to come back because that's what OKC does. I think Russ shot 10 for 29. Melo was like 9 for 24. And like,
you don't get the Thunder struggles, you mean?
You know what I'm saying? I don't. Well, I mean, I do get it, but I don't, because they're trying to get behind just talent. And I think Russ and Melo play too cool sometimes. Paul George is a beast. Paul George should be that team's Kevin Durant.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was saying, until they realize that,
so
they're going to struggle.
Here's what I've been thinking recently. Russell Westbrook, right before the season started, got those platelet injection, you know, like rich plasma platelet injections. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like that procedure?
To his knee.
Right, yeah. And he did that right after he signed that Supermax, right? Where after the course of the entire offseason, he didn't sign it.
Okay.
So I've heard some talk to the extent that basically what happened is he needed that knee procedure, or just straight up maybe needed a knee surgery for at the start of the summer, and he was basically nursing it, hoping it would get better. And when he saw that it didn't, he was sort of face to face with his NBA mortality a little bit, and then finally signed the extension when he was planning on going at it in free agency, but he knew that this year was going to be a struggle for him. And that potentially he was going to get exposed a little bit, where it's like, okay, another knee injury after he's already had all the cartilage in his knees taken out. So he's looked a lot less. I mean, it's a conspiracy theory, you know? I mean, like, Russ's camp.
It's a bad
theory. Perhaps so. Russ's camp is really tight-lipped. It's not like anything like that would leak. But it's an interesting
my
thought.
thing with that is, my problem with that is, like, he looked a little slow and heavy coming in from that procedure into early in the season. But like the other day against, he still has his bounce, and he's still fast as hell. What I'm seeing from him is he has his weird indecisive moments where like he'll get his guy on his heels with he'll come right at him with the little double cross or whatever and get him on their heels right perfect for his little, I think he calls it his cotton shot. You know what I'm saying? A little pull up, which is not a great shot. But I mean, the point is when he's aggressive and he's playing
last year it was, right?
Right. Yeah. But the point is I see him do that, and then he'll actually throw like another little sidestep in, or he'll keep, like, I don't know what his problem is. He seems like he's thinking too much. You know what I mean? So it's weird. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's...
My thing from today was like they kind of disrespected the basketball gods. You got the win. What the hell are you chasing? Why are you chasing a triple-double? Why are you chasing a triple-double? It makes no sense, and it irks me. So that's one thing. Go ahead.
They sort of did that over the course of all of last season, though,
but they had to. Like last year, they knew they weren't winning shit, and the franchise.
I mean, I don't know.
The franchise had to rally around something, right? And you can say what you want about.
Well, they're struggling so much this year, right?
Right. Because they have no direction.
I mean,
they have no direction.
I'm saying, like, right, so they struggled last year, so they needed to pick me up. Russ's triple doubles, the MVP, that meant a lot to the franchise. This year, they're scared to death that everything's going to fall apart. You know, Russell Westbrook is having a down year.
The things they're not really. You know why? Because Melo's under contract for, even though he has a player option, he's taking that player option.
Melo's been straight up bad. He's been a negative on the court.
Well, that's not true. Him and PG and Russ are all like +3. They're none of them are negative, so that's just not true.
I mean, I think that there's a real extent to which a healthy Patrick Patterson is just better in that lineup. I mean, we
don't know because we haven't seen it. You know, so,
right?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's easy to hypothesize, and I get it, but this is where the NBA is such a weird thing because he laughed when they mentioned him coming off the bench, and he's just not that kind of. He's not that guy. I get it. We want him to be. We want him to be this altruistic player who says, it's best for my team if I come off the bench and play 20 minutes a night.
Well, I'm not even saying that. He just needs to alter his play style a little bit. And
no. See, this is the argument I have with everybody else. Do you remember the conversations? If only Dwight Howard could learn to do this. Some guys just are who they are, man. And sure, good or bad, we can. It's part of their judgment. But we got to stop thinking if only he could do, because he's not going to do it. He's just not going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's some reason for optimism. I mean, of course, there's like the Olympic Melo thing. There's a lot of...
I said this. I told you that's bullshit. That's bullshit because Olympic Melo, they're playing against Angola, and he's on the court with literally 4 other all-stars, superstars at one time. This is just not that. It's just not that.
Look, I mean, you seem like it certainly appears that you're right. I mean, you never really know until you see it. I mean, it's the same with the Patrick Patterson idea. We can only hypothesize beforehand until we see something happen. And like some people thought that Melo was going to, I mean, I don't know. I never thought that he was going to like come off the bench, or I think that's actually sort of ridiculous. Like I think that he could average 22 points a game doing particular things. And I think that there's still a degree of likelihood that he does sort of alter his game by the end of the year. I wouldn't be stunned, but I mean, I don't know. I just don't love this Thunder team. And I feel like I should. They have all the trappings of a really great playoff team. They have really good ISO scores. They have a fantastic defense, a ton of length, a literal MVP, a defensive wing stopper. I mean, two
defensive wing stoppers.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. 2 elite.
2.5 because Jeremy Grant has actually been really good this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to do shit against LeBron, which is sort of the thought. But
oh God, stop.
Or Kevin Durant, right? Like, I mean, we're thinking about
he blocked KD twice the other night, and he was one of the reasons. Like, I'm not saying he's a KD stopper. No, he's not KD stopper, but they did a great job against KD the other night. Even though KD had 20 something. No, the point is just KD doesn't have. There's almost no time when KD has a guy on him he can just destroy. The fact that you can rotate on guys like Jeremy Grant, Paul George, Roberson, there's always gonna be somebody to make KD at least kind of feel them. Even though, yeah, he played great. He's going to be good. He's Kevin Durant. He's unstoppable. But the point is, I mean, yeah, he's not going to just rain down fire and give 50 unless he totally breaks the game plan. Like, I think against OKC last year, he had like 34 like in his sleep. Just kind of stepped in 34 points. It's not going to happen this year.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a formula for the Warriors beating the Thunder, and it doesn't rely on Kevin Durant going nuts. It relies on picking on Russell Westbrook. But I mean, that's when this whole interesting thing comes into play that, I think in his year in college he was like defensive player of the year. Did he go to Cal, right?
Who?
Russell Westbrook. Or UCLA.
UCLA.
Yeah, so I think in his 1 year there he won defensive player of the year in college. Or at least in his division, so there's no reason for him not to be a good defender. And
the reason is now he's 10 years in, and he's been an offensive focus for the last 7-8 years, and that's just how it goes, man. I get it, and he's been better. He's been better this year, but like you can see it, man. As the possession rolls on, he ends up standing up and strolling. Beginning of possession, down his crouch, and he's sprinting everywhere. 24 seconds later, he's standing and watching the rim and strolling, and it's sad. I hate to see him do that.
Yeah, and I mean, it it obviously hasn't mattered. I mean, the Thunder have been elite defensively, and
For sure.
it makes sense. Like, they have so many help defenders that are really solid. It's like if he gambles for steals all the time, it sort of reminds me of that Iverson Sixers team, right? Where Iverson could just like go for steals and try to get easy points in transition. I mean, obviously they have a lot more offensive power than that team did, but they're struggling right now on offense. So it's like, well, getting easy points is a good thing. So if Russ gambles or overshoots or overplays it, it's cool because George and Andre Roberson are like basically Kawhi and Danny Green. I mean, that's how the Spurs have been such a good defense for the last few years. And I think Billy Donovan's doing an okay job, especially to the extent that a coach influences their defense. And by the way, Celtics defense, holy shit. Like, coaches influence their team's defense more than they influence their team's offense, right? And so I think Donovan's like doing a good job, and those 3 stars just have to sort of figure it out. But I think, yeah, at least Russell Westbrook's weaknesses are not that big of a deal in this current iteration of the Thunder team. Like, God.
No, the big weakness right now is he's shooting terribly. That's
right.
That's been a problem. He's shooting like he's sub 40% since. So what I did today, I was looking at a bunch of guys' numbers past November 1st because that was like the 2-week mark. And I always say ignore the first 2 weeks of the season while things kind of normalize. Russ has been shooting like 38% since November 1st. And like 30% from 3. And it's ugly. And he's averaging like 9 assists and like 4 turnovers since then. That's not good. This is not good. So and maybe you're right. Maybe it's the knee. I did notice to start the season off, he looked a little heavy.
I think it's a little bit of both. You know,
like I think he looked a little bit like a little less explosive than normally, right? But just enough I could see it. And other people say he looks fine. I can notice it. He just a little bit of burst is missing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and you know, he last year sort of perfected the art of you know that. I mean, the only other guy who does it, you know, Russell Westbrook draws a lot of Michael Jordan comparisons for, I think, like, some good reasons and some bad reasons. But one of the things he does that at least stylistically looks a lot like Jordan is that sort of hanging jump shot where he like hangs in the air for a couple seconds. He jumps way higher than most good jump shooters and sort of shoots like, I don't know, a second and a half into his jump shot instead of like right off of the release.
Almost on the way down?
Yeah, right. And, like, Jordan used to do that. And, like...
Well, yeah, I guess.
Well, I mean, whatever. So, like, that relies so much on the timing of that initial leap that even a little bit of miscalibration, I think, would throw a shot off. I think it's probably 70% his knee and 30% the acclimation when you're talking about specifically him not shooting well. But a lot of the other issues are, you know, you've got 3 new stars. It's always hard, you know.
I think it's more like 75 acclimation, 10% just having a bad start, and then
10% concentrated power of will.
And then like the rest of it's the knee or whatever. I don't think that. I don't know. Just watching him move, I don't think the knee's really bothering him. I think maybe it affects his off-season training. So he came into camp a little more out of shape than he normally would. So maybe that's what we're seeing, the remnants of that. But I don't know, man. It's just frustrating because we know he's such a talented player. Paul George is amazing when they let him off the chain. They don't let him off the chain enough, and they got him playing second fiddle to a guy like Melo that he's better than, you know, and it sucks.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty frustrating. I think there are times that Paul George just seems really checked out, and like that's alarming.
I think that's just how he is. I think that's just like when he's
it's
ready
how
to
he
roll,
was
he's
in
engaged.
Indiana, you know, like, and he left Indiana.
Well, I don't think it's. Again, I think that's just his It's almost like with Tracy McGrady, right? The big thing with him was the sleepy eyes, and coaches might not think he cares. That's just how he looks. Because PG's been playing hard as hell on defense. You know, he's making things happen offensively when he's on. So I don't think he's checked out. I think it's just he's never going to be one of those rah-rah, in-your-face, let's go guys. What else? What's the other thing that pissed me off today? I don't remember. Something else pissed me off today.
Hey, do you want to go ahead and introduce Bod Pod? I mean, it's me and you.
Okay.
It's me and James Hollis, Bod Pod.
Oh, yeah. You know what's pissed me off? After the Thunder game, I was talking about how the Thunder can't stay out of their own way. They're up like 15 in the third against the Pistons, and the Pistons came back to beat them. I don't know. We'll come back to that. But one of the Pistons bloggers was like, no, they just got in the way of the Pistons. So I'm like, dude, there's a reason they were down 15 in the fourth. And then he started giving some facts about, well, actually, Pistons have the most comebacks from, being behind 10 and trailing by 10 and coming back. I don't know if that's sustainable, but it's something. No, it's fucking not something. You don't brag about having the most comeback because you're behind 10 in the first place.
Yeah, right.
The fuck out of here. Yeah, so
let's pretend for a second that is something.
Well, I mean, it's something because you win the game. That's fine. But that's one of those things where, again, we talk about, process over results. If your process finds you repeatedly down by 10 or more points and you have to come back, that's not a good process.
Let's say that is a thing. And at the same time that the Thunder blowing leads is a thing. Did the Thunder blow a lead or did the Pistons surge and come back? Obviously the Thunder blew a lead. They're a better team,
Right. So it's one of those. And then I guess what really irked me about it was the Pistons have been good again for freaking 3 weeks. And, the bloggers are already getting the attitude. So.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
About what? About
the Pistons. Are they legit?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think I wish I need to start annotating the shit I said in the offseason. Because my big thing with them this offseason, I thought they'd be a lot better this year and for all the reasons that there are better. Reggie Jackson's healthy. They don't have, and chemistry is such a big thing in NBA locker rooms and on teams. Their chemistry was terrible last year because it's half of the players rallied around kind of behind Ish Smith. And then, the ownership and coaching was like, well, Reggie's our guy. He's going to play. And that made shit weird. Drummond was being weird because he wanted to post up and they weren't feeding him the post enough. And he was pouting a little bit because he was sitting for the free throw. It was just a real weird time last year. And that they didn't seem to have any joy in that around that team and playing basketball. And this year, Reggie Jackson being healthy, it's all a cascading effect. You can see it. He's healthy, so he's playing better. So now they're more dangerous, and Reggie Jackson, they streamlined the offense and they changed the offense for Drummond, right? And now he's getting more touches at the high post, and he's like point Drummond almost, and everyone's just happier, and it makes a difference, man.
Yeah, I think the thing with the Pistons is, it's not like a cascading thing. I think that it's
you can be wrong.
Well, I think it's a whole slew of little things. So I think that Reggie Jackson's healthy. That's point number one. And point number two is that Andre Drummond got his septum repaired, and
that's definitely a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And Andre Drummond has enough energy to not be terrible, I guess, all of a sudden. And then the third thing is that Tobias Harris is probably shooting unsustainably well, given his shot profile. He's shooting an insane amount from three, and he's shooting a lot of mid-range spot ups and hitting way above league averages, and he's not getting to the free throw line at all. So I think that's probably going to
unsustainable. Okay.
Yeah. So that's point number 3? And
something like that.
Yeah. Point number 4, again, unrelated. Avery Bradley's just a lot better than Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, right?
That's sustainable, obviously, because he's there now. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So I think those are the 4 big things, but there's a lot of other stuff going on.
Let's go back to Tobias. I think a lot of Tobias is maybe not. I don't know what he's shooting now, but I know
it's not totally unsustainable, I think.
Well, yeah, because look, the fact that they got Andre Drummond engaged and playing point center from the high post, and he can hit free throws now. Now Tobias is actually a spacer when he's supposed to be a spacer, and he's just getting better. I think Tobias is only 25.
Well, Tobias is playing. Yeah, you're right, but Tobias is playing 4. I mean, they're starting Stanley, right?
Tobias
last
played
year
a lot
they were
of
starting
last year.
Lure.
Yes, Lure started. Yeah, so now Tobias is playing his best position, and he's just a year better, and he's a year more comfortable. So, it's a lot of things, though. You're right, though. I don't know. I guess I should have looked up what he was shooting while we were talking.
Reggie being healthy means that you have Ish Smith, who's a really, really good point guard coming off the bench. He's a subpar starting point guard, but he's basically an elite bench point guard, I think. And then Langston Galloway is shooting fantastically. So their bench units are good and their starting unit is solid. And it's just a whole bunch of stuff that's all coming together.
Tobias is shooting 47% from 3 on 6 attempts a night. So yeah, that's probably not sustainable.
Yeah, I think he's a 40% shooter. That's what the eye test tells me. I mean, his shot looks
not
good.
47 though. Not 47.
Right. Like 40. We'll say like 38 to 42. You know.
Yeah. So what about the Celtics?
I think he's a really good 3-point shooter. You know, but like, I mean, no one's 47% good.
Yeah, Kyle Korver. Okay. What about the Celtics?
So, you know, their defense is elite, right?
Yes.
And I think that basically their offense, the difference between them being like 21st or whatever they are in the league, like bottom half, but just barely, and them being like a top 10, top 8 offense is just point blank in a vacuum. Kyrie's not shooting well. Marcus Smart can't hit anything. And if those two things were not the case, like they would just be more efficient, their offense would be better, and like they would be like a top 10 offense. Like that's
dude.
It's not the
are
system.
You Facebook right now?
No.
Are you sure you're not Facebook? Because Facebook's always about a week behind everybody else. Because Kyrie's been shooting like outstanding for the last week and some change.
Well, so what do you think about that premise? Like Kyrie's underperforming for whatever reason.
No,
Marcus Smart
I think you're wrong. Kyrie's been great. It's not Kyrie. It's everybody else.
Yeah. I mean,
let me see here. He went 5 for 7, 5 for 6, 1 5 2 5. Oh yeah, 4 for 10. Yeah, so he's been pretty inconsistent until recently, and then I think tonight he went off again. It's not sure. I'm not looking at the box score, but and I don't know what their offense has been in the last week, but I know when they lost to Miami, just like when they lost or they played a close game with Atlanta and Dallas, their problem is they're generating good shots, and Jalen and Jason are shooting great, but everyone else isn't. That's the problem.
So
I think.
Yeah, I mean their bench seems really unreliable. Like I mean, Marcus Smart not hitting anything, I think is just killing the bench.
Yeah, so I'm the biggest.
Terry Rozier's been a little bit disappointing. I think. Like I think it started to look like, I don't know. He's like such a tease. It seems like he shows bursts where it's like, okay, Terry Rozier can lead a bench offense.
Yeah, he went off like 25 tonight off the bench. He was explosive as hell, and he looked great.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's sort of what I'm saying. Like he'll show stuff like that, and he'll be great in the playoffs, and he'll grab like 20 rebounds, and yeah, like you said, he'll be explosive as hell, and then he'll just like lay an egg. And I don't know what the difference is. I can't tell what's happening there that makes him on or off. But something's happening, and when he's on, their bench is good. When he's off, their bench isn't. It's
well, he's been off ever since. I'm looking at just yeah, he hasn't been really good outside the first week of the season, and then tonight he was great, and he's had a couple spots here and there. And this is the thing: when you're winning with defense, it can mask so many things. But you're right; he hasn't been good. I've been the biggest Smart supporter, and arguing about this is part of what makes Boston great is that they can let Smart do the one bad thing, which is shooting, and he does so many good things. But you're right, man. Like somebody tweeted today, and what's his name? Andrew Bailey. He's a Utah guy, I think.
Right.
And he tweeted how that we are a quarter through the season, and Smart's taking 10 shots a game and only making 26% of them. And I don't like to say that things are unacceptable when a team is good and winning, but it's not sustainable, right? If this is your guy off the bench, and they got to find a way to either he has to cut the shots down or he got to find a way to make shots. It's just it's bad.
They have the number 1 defense in the league, by
a long shot. I think
right. Marcus Smart is probably 30% of that. Al Horford's 40% of that, and then.
This is the worst math. That's some of the worst math I've ever heard.
Whatever. Okay, so Marcus Smart and Al Horford are their 2 best defenders, right?
Jaylen Brown has been like locked down. He's been great.
Better than Marcus Smart?
I'm not gonna say better because he doesn't have quite the versatility and he doesn't have the team impact yet. Like Smart, I don't know if you saw. Oh, you probably didn't see today. He came over and he blocked. Who are they playing today?
Dude, Marcus Smart is a fucking animal on defense.
Hey, he came over and he blocked. Biyombo at the rim. Biyombo thought he had a layup and he just comes swoop and just catches it. He's just really one of those smart, heady defensive players. But
do you have the number one offense in the league? Do you have the number one defense in the league if you don't have Marcus Smart?
No. Probably
yeah,
not.
I think fuck no is the answer to that. So
probably not.
I mean, like, yeah, he should be shooting better, but I think he's so important. Like, he's maybe the third most important player on the Celtics, I would say. And like Brad Stevens has almost said that. Like, he's like, Marcus Smart understands what we're supposed to be doing better than anyone else. I mean, like, if this is always really easy to say, but it's like if he was just hitting his shots, he'd be great. Like, he's in all the right places. He's taking all the shots that he should be taking. And on defense, like, he's just amazing. Like, he's just like basically setting the tone for all of the guards. Like, he's that guy. He's sort of their Paul Millsap, or what Paul Millsap has been for Denver. He's that guy who makes you embarrassed if you're on defense and like not doing shit. Like
I'll say this. I would be more upset about his defense and his shooting. I'm sorry, his shooting. If the team wasn't, when he's on court, they're 5 points per 100 possessions better offensively. Boston is.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. That's fuzzy math to me.
Well, it's not about fuzzy math. It's even him shooting so poorly, he helps the offense flow, and he is where he's supposed to be, and he actually makes plays for others. Like, yeah. So it's hard for me to.
I think that stuff's at play. I also think that if Marcus Smart is on the court, the Celtics have to play all their best offensive players.
But they don't always, though. He plays minutes lineups with Terry Rozier and Baines, and nobody
suck.
But my point is, overall, when he is on the court, this is why this. Yeah. No, again, this is just straight. This is not even like some deep advanced analytics, right? That's all offensive rating is saying. All right, you play 85 possessions a night. We're going to extrapolate it out to 100 possessions, and those are the numbers that we're going to use, right? That's all it is, right?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, like, no.
No, that's not.
It's lineup dependent.
Offensive rating, if the team does that, we're saying the team performs with this guy in the lineup. That's just saying that while he's in the lineup. That's all it's saying. This is not like you're doing any kind of deep math, right?
Okay, yeah, sure. On like a...
They're saying he's on the floor for 30 possessions a night. Let's extrapolate that out to how many points they score. That's all it's doing, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think so. If
you're gonna don't make this too complicated. All offensive rating is saying he was on the floor for 30 possessions and they scored 34 points. Then they do the math and they extrapolate it out to make that 100 possessions and how many points you score, right?
Well, okay, so look, here's what I'm saying, right? Like, if
let's keep it simple. That's all I'm asking you.
All right, man. Okay, I'm not.
Is that what it is?
Okay.
No, I'm not arguing with you. That's what I don't get what you're arguing about. Isn't that what offensive rating is?
Like, yeah, you're defining offensive rating, but it's like if you want to break down. Okay, well, so Marcus Smart's on the court.
I'm not trying to break down anything. I'm asking you a simple question. Is that what offensive rating is?
Yes.
And I can look at his own, like when he is on the court, they have people who track this.
Yeah.
The team's offensive rating is this, and then when he's off, it's something else.
Okay.
Right.
So what conclusion are you drawing from that?
I'm not drawing any conclusions. I'm saying that it's 5 points better when he's on. So that's a big overarching thing, and we do know he's not a good shooter. We know that, but the team somehow, and this is not just this season, has performed better when he's on the floor. Right, and then the defensive rating is 6 points better when he's on the court than when he's off. So you got to he's a plus 11 every night. So it's hard to just. I know it should be better. We want it to be better, and we know that it's gonna. There's gonna be a game or two where you're gonna say if he had just shot 40% versus 20%, they could have won this game. But in the big scheme of things, which is all offensive rating is talking about, right? It's they're not a one game thing. This is what you gather data over time for. The team's much better with him on the floor. That's all I'm saying.
If they played typical lineups alongside Marcus Smart instead of just having to play their best offensive players and like,
but that's one thing they don't. I watch the games. They don't just put him in there with the best. They run regular. Tatum and Brown get their full first rotation, at least half the first quarter, and then unless foul trouble comes up, then he'll come in and he'll take the place of whoever Brad Stevens is feeling that day. He'll either come in at point, he'll come in at 2, he'll come in at 3. He'll take whatever position that they want him to. But no, they just run the rotation. Then second quarter usually starts off with like him, Rozier. It could be Morris. They don't really they do stagger their guys, but Stevens is so weird because he doesn't have a set rotation like a lot of coaches do.
Yeah, I should probably pull up the lineup data. I'm not going to. I don't want to. It's too late.
No, I want you to, so like you can say, "Oh wow, I guess you're right." No. He plays good minutes with Tatum and Kyrie and freaking Brown. Like he'll play good minutes with those, but those aren't only the minutes he plays. But I get what you're saying. You're saying the offensive rating is going to look better when you're playing with better offense. But my point is this: when those guys are on the floor without him, then the offense should be way better, right? Right? No, you don't have to look up the data. I'm asking you. When those guys are on the floor without him, then the offensive rating should be like 120.
Yes and no. I mean, if they're not playing lineups that are offensively maximized very much because they're having to have Marcus Smart in the game a lot of those minutes because, like, again, they are best when Marcus Smart is on the court, right? Like the lineups that have Marcus Smart are the best, right? But I'm saying, like, if they play mostly minutes with Marcus Smart next to good offensive players, like if they just replace Marcus Smart with like a knockdown shooter, then they'd be even better offensively, but their defense would be a lot worse, a ton worse.
So who's I guess the problem with that is who's the knockdown shooter, because there's not one off the bench.
Yeah, you're totally right. They should get one. They should get a knockdown shooter off the bench.
All I'm saying, Al Horford is the only guy who has a higher, he's the only one with the higher offensive rating, individual offensive rating on off
than Marcus Smart?
Than Marcus Smart, yes. Significantly. He's the only one. Kyrie, even Kyrie is lower than with Marcus. Yeah, so Kyrie and him actually. Yeah. So go ahead.
Well, no. I
feel like a nerd talking about this because it's not even like it's just my point is like sure it's people keep saying like it's becoming a problem or
look like here's what I would like, right? You know more about the Celtics than I do. They're not my team. Right. I know more about the Mavericks than you do. Like
no, you probably don't.
Fuck off. Okay, so there are some teams I'm going to know more about, and there are other teams that you're going to know more about. And the Celtics are definitely under the table. They're like on your side, right, of the Venn diagram. Mm-hmm. So tell me, like, why are they better with Marcus Smart? And I know he does all the other stuff. Like, what stuff? Look, I'm saying like you're probably right. Like, I am actually asking, like, please teach me.
No, and I'm looking at it right now because he has the third best net on-off rating on the team, behind Jaylen Brown and freaking Al Horford. Right, so I mean, that's telling. And it doesn't mean everything, but it's telling. We talked about his team defense, right? He's such a smart defender, man. It's like he not only is he's great guarding his man. When he's off ball, he knows where to be, and he knows like the helper, and he's always, he just hands in the passing lanes. He knows when to dig down and when to just abandon his man that's coming and swooping for a block, that kind of stuff. You can't teach that kind of thing, right? If he could just be we keep saying it. If he could just be a 40% shooter, he's worth everything.
So I'm looking at the lineup data. So their most used lineup is Baines, Brown, Horford, Kyrie, and Tatum, and it's a whopping 12.1 positive net rating. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that makes plenty of sense. I think that Brown, Tatum, and Irving are their best shooters, except for Al Horford, who's their best pick setter, and then Aaron Baines is their second best pick setter. So there's a good blend of guys setting picks, guys who move off ball, and guys who shoot. So that's perfect. And then their second most used lineup is a negative 8.4, and the only thing that's happening is that you're removing Aaron Baines and you're adding Marcus Morris. So, and then the third most used lineup.
What was that swing? Was the swing there?
It's a 20.3 swing down when you're replacing Baines with Morris. Again, this is 79 minutes, 77 minutes. Those are the two most used lineups. So, it's Brown, Horford, Kyrie, and Tatum, the four like locked in pieces, right? And then when you replace Aaron Baines / Marcus Morris with Marcus Smart instead as that fifth guy, they're a 16.6 positive net rating, and that's even higher. Yeah.
So basically he's playing power forward.
So basically they're losing because they're playing these Marcus Morris lineups instead of like these Baines and Smart lineups. But like again, like I'm not questioning Brad Stevens. I'm saying like you're right. There's not a great fifth option there. It sucks.
Yeah. Well, this is my thing. This is like the DeMar DeRozan. The DeMar DeRozan freaking theory. with Marcus Morris, because I see a lot of people are down on him. A lot of Celtics guys don't like him very much. Right? They're either lukewarm on him, or they're just like, well, we should look to trade him and get an asset for him while we can. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, right? I mean, what do you think?
Why? I mean, we could do the net on and off thing all day, but like, we say we need another scorer off the bench, and that's exactly what he does. Even if he starts, he's still playing bench rotation minutes. That's it, man. He comes in and he looks to shoot, and he does a pretty damn good job of it. I'm fine with him.
So, would you agree with the general idea that I think the Celtics are a team that should run a bench mob? I think those four guys, Tatum, Brown, Horford, Kyrie, they play so well together that if you can find that like secret fifth guy, right? If you can find who the fifth guy who fits perfectly alongside them, and it might be Marcus Smart, by the way. But the problem is if you take Marcus Smart off the court alongside the bench sucks. So if they find the fifth guy who makes the bench lineup of, I don't know, Baines, Marcus Morris, Marcus Smart, Terry Rozier, and then like that fifth guy, they would be perfect.
I've never been into bench mobs. It's fun, and I liked it when like Sacramento did it back in the day. But I think
there's a handful of teams who you should do that with.
Like who? Golden State's like the only one, I think, really.
The Wizards.
Who else? Yeah, see, they can't do that. Who's going to run the bench mob? They got to have some.
But you're right. But like the only thing that the Wizards have figured out is their starting lineup, right? When it's Kelly Oubre, Otto Porter, those two all-star guards, and Marcin Gortat, that is like one of the best lineups in the league, and you can't like get rid of that. Like that's the only thing you do well. If you deviate from that, you suck. So like just win your starting lineup minutes and like try to hold the fort when you have your shitty bench unit in the game. And like
I can't get behind that, dude. What's wrong with staggering the guys? And then so you got your starting five together at the beginning of the game, and for your closing lineup they can be together the game. In the middle, just keep one or two of them on the floor with the bench. It's okay. You can play these guys 35 minutes a night. Right? So if we're talking 35 minutes a night, you're playing them together 10 minutes in the first quarter, or even 9 minutes in the first quarter, 9 in the second. You want to close the game with them. Say you want to do the last 8 minutes of the game with them. That's only 17 minutes with your starters. You got plenty of time to mix and match them in the middle of the game.
The only person who I could see staggering is John Wall, because if they had a better bench, they could do basically, instead of like Lowry plus bench, it could be John Wall plus bench, and that would be good. But their bench is so bad that if you stagger John Wall into the bench units, that you're not getting anything because the spacing is awful. And like even with John Wall, like they're still bad.
You could do Beal. You could do Beal too.
Okay, so John Wall and Beal, like, so what you're gonna?
Yeah, you can stagger them all together. Like I'm saying, you can do Beal plus bench. I think Beal's becoming their best player.
He's been their best player this year.
Okay, there you go. I thought you were going to argue with me about that. Yeah, he's really good, man. Okay,
so you're going to put Tim Frazier and Jody Meeks in with the starting players, like Otto Porter, Tim Frazier, Jody Meeks, and then Marcin Gortat. I mean, like, I don't know, man. Your only thing that you do right is those starting players, right? And on top of that, they're the only players who are like locked into place. They're the only players who you keep year after year. I think that if you're the Wizards, you just keep shuffling the deck until you figure out like just one bench mob unit that is not completely atrocious. And like, you're golden.
I mean, you don't, how much time do you think they got? They don't have time for that, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, they need to trade for Boogie. They're getting like stale as fuck. Like, I mean, they're turning like sort of into Clippers East, where it's like, okay, we've seen what these five guys can do, and if you can't use minimum contracts and scrape stuff together to make a good bench because you keep making bad decisions, whether that's Doc Rivers or Ernie Grunfeld, then like move on. This team's not doing anything. So you can make like a big move, like get Boogie, like really go all in, or you could not. And like if you don't, this team's like done. It's like cooked. It's like we've seen what they can be, and we've seen that their general manager can't put together a functional bench unit. So, like, what's the point, you know?
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's about it, bro.
Yeah.
That's it. And Washington talks so much. They talk such a big game. They're the bullies that talk big and then get punched in the mouth, and they really can't do shit.
Yeah, it's weird, too, because, like, I get the sense that their starting lineup is so good, but then their bench is so bad. It's like they lose the game in those minutes. And like, I mean, John Wall has like thrown shots at the bench for like the last half decade, you know, like just talking about how shit they are. Gortat does the same thing. Now they figured out that Kelly Oubre instead of Markieff Morris, like that makes them even better with those 5 men. I don't know. It's depressing because like it doesn't need to be this way, you know. Like if you made good, even take the $16 million a year that Jan Mahimi is making, right? Like distribute that to 2 good mid-level bench players. Like give like half of that to Kelly Olynyk, right? And then give the other half to like
whoa.
I don't know, Omri Caspi or something.
You said Kelly Olynyk?
Yeah, but like he's
too pricey.
Yeah, right. So I don't know who's similar to Kelly Olynyk. Like
nobody, because he's awesome.
Kelly Olynyk's, yeah, I like Kelly Olynyk.
Well, I was gonna say, didn't they just traded a first rounder for Bogdanovich?
Yeah, like keep him.
And then I don't think they even gave him an offer. And then he signed for I think $6 million a year in Indiana.
Right, yeah, and like you could so like sign Darren Collison and Bojan, but you paid Jan Mahimi $16 million a year.
Yep.
Yeah, and like that's the issue with Ernie Grunfeld is like he's landed this really solid 5-guy core. But it's the little stuff that like makes the difference. Like it's the little moves around the periphery. It's the guys like Jordan Bell, getting Omri Caspi on that contract. It's like little stuff that's the difference between like, a really good team, maybe the second best team in the East, and like a really actually contending team, right? If you had good, valuable players on the bench, you could reshuffle the deck, put 2 first-round picks together, go get Boogie, but like Jan Mahimi at $16 million, that's not going to cut it, right? That's not going to get you Boogie. He's like a net negative, and like eventually you're trading 4 first-round picks? Like it just doesn't calculate.
Somebody was saying the other day that Gortat's starting to show his signs of his breakdown too.
Yeah, he is.
So.
Yeah, that sort of points to what I'm saying. Like Jan Mahimi is so bad that Gortat, even depreciated value Gortat, is just like making that lineup work. It's just, man. The Wizards are frustrating because like I think that Bradley Beal, man, is like a fucking amazing player. And John Wall, hasn't been great compared to John Wall of the past, but he's still been like a top 3 point guard in the league, right? Otto Porter's been like a top 5 small forward. He's been incredible. Like he's been better than Tobias Harris. And Kelly Oubre is like, basically a Diet Coke version of Marcus Smart. Like he's got all this crazy length. Do you get what I'm saying though? Like he's just like this, 5th starter on good teams that just like gets into everyone's business, right?
I guess. I'm not. He's all right.
I really like Kelly Oubre.
No, he's fine. Yeah.
He serves his function. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I mean, I don't know. What else you want to talk about?
I don't know. Back to the Celtics. I knew that loss was coming. They, like you said, the offense has been pretty bad. The defense has been great, but yeah, you can only play with fire so long before you get burned. Yeah, and they've been playing with fire for a while. You know what I'm saying? Like getting down big. Like, and people think that's right. People think it's like a sign of it is a sign of a good team to come back from that. But like again, if you keep getting down big, there's a problem. You shouldn't be getting down big all the time.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's pretty simple. Like their depth is a whole bunch of young guys, and these guys aren't used to playing 82 game seasons. They're not used to playing NBA caliber games. Like, I mean, Tatum and Brown have been good, really good, but Semi Ojeley's like not been so hot.
Semi's been, he started off blazing, and he's really slowing down a lot.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like he's showing fatigue. He's not bad. He just like
I don't think it's fatigue, man. I think
he should be playing 10 minutes a game or 8 minutes a game.
Well, how many minutes is Semi playing? He's not playing that much, man. I mean, Semi's not playing big. What do you think he's playing?
Well, like he should be playing like 10 good minutes a game.
That's what I'm saying. Well, how many do you think he's playing? It's not much different than that. Semi's barely playing. He's getting, his defense is fine. It's the fact he stopped making shots. Yabusele, he's not getting any minutes. Yeah, he's not getting any. He play. Yeah, well, it's fine though. I think he's looked a little overwhelmed early when they tried to start him. Like they had him in the rotation a lot like Shemi at first, and I think he's just it's too fast for him right now. So they'll get him in there later on.
I am such a big believer because I want his upside to like turn into something because like I believe in it. But like a lot of guys like him, the whole fat kid thing, right? Like James Harden is a fat kid who worked out, right? Markelle Fultz is probably a fat kid who's going to work out. And like what I mean is their body types, if they weren't elite, best athlete in the world, super conditioned, they would be fat, like sort of naturally. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're big boned or whatever. But more Draymonds don't work out than do work out. And like I'm just scared that that's what's going to happen with Yabu. Yabu's playing 16 minutes. Oh, wait, no.
Shemi?
Semi's playing 13 minutes a game.
Yeah, he's not playing. It's fine, dude. He just whatever. They like his defensive potential. So they keep feeding him minutes, and right now Yabu's like a luxury. He came in tonight for a couple minutes in garbage time, and I mean because the game was just too fast for him. You could see he was committing bad fouls. He's athletic, and he had good hands. He was showing good hands, and he just he's fine. He'll be fine. I guess my thing with him is, and this is like I can't imagine that this is what Ainge is doing, but if he is doing this, it's pretty cool. We know Horford only has this is Horford's year 2 on that contract.
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
So he has, Horford only has a couple more good years, and maybe they want Yabu to kind of stay around and watch and get minutes and learn from that and fill in that old Horford. Because he showed he was a decent passer, like over in China, of course, but yeah, he can handle the rock and make reads and stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think Anthony Davis is going to slide right in and replace Al Horford well.
That'd be awesome too.
Yeah. So you would have to either trade Tatum or Brown. How are you feeling right now? If Anthony Davis is on one side of the trade and they say like whatever, a bunch of stuff, and then either Tatum or Brown, who do you let go of? Who do you trade?
Hang up the phone.
That is fucking stupid. It's Anthony fucking Davis. Stop it. Come on.
I mean, what's he done? He hasn't won anything. Fuck that guy.
Oh, God. Okay. All right, James. All right.
I mean, honestly, it probably got to be. I guess it probably should be Brown. I think I kind of like him. I like him better personally than I like Tatum. But Tatum,
I think Tatum's probably more talented, but Brown's a better fit.
Well, I don't even know about that because like today, Tatum came out the gates really aggressive and he had like 8 points in the first couple minutes of the game, and he was hitting. I mean, it made it look so easy. He was hitting his threes. He's so he. I don't know. I don't even know if Brown's more talented. Brown just seems to have more of that leading man kind of thing to him.
No. I think Tatum's more talented, but Brown is a better fit.
Oh, all right. I guess you could say that. I don't know why he'd be. But what makes him the better fit?
Basically, what I think Brown projects to be is Danny Green on the Spurs.
Oh no.
Well, like him, except like hyper explosive and like. I think like he'll make great defensive plays in transition. He'll play the shooting guard and like muscle guys, and he'll basically be like Green with a better handle, I think. And he fits really well into the Spurs type of thing that Brad Stevens wants to run. And I just think that makes a lot of sense with like Anthony Davis at center and like, I don't know, someone, I guess it would be Tatum Tatum's traded. Shit, man. I don't know. Like, maybe you don't get Anthony Davis. Maybe you just like hope that you sign him.
I don't know, man. So that's been my thing with like as a fan, when you watch a team put itself together and raise itself out of the mud, as Boston's done. I really, it's really hard to say who I want to part with because I don't want to. I get it. Part of building a team is engineering good trades, but when you got a package of like these guys that you've drafted to. I don't know. You keep talking about this trade, but I don't. What trade would it be?
Yeah, I mean, like we were just talking about how bad their depth is. Like you're going to trade 2 quality starters for like one guy. Like, I mean, look, you do it every time. You figure it out. Like it's Anthony Davis, but I mean, it does hurt. It doesn't feel good to do that. Like it's not like, oh, whatever, no big deal. Like you've got like 2 guys who are going to be like significantly above average, not superstars, but significantly above average starters. Doesn't feel good to lose one of them. I totally agree. I mean, it's not like just like a band-aid that you rip off really quick. Again, like I think that unquestionably you do it for Anthony Davis. It's just like it just like doesn't feel good. You know what I mean?
So Anthony Davis is a great talent, but again, I don't know. I was only joking when I said the first time about was he done to prove that?
Look, dude,
he's great.
He's like a LeBron James caliber player.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not.
Okay,
don't say. Don't let's not disrespect LeBron James. I'm not a big LeBron guy.
Okay, like he's not as good as LeBron. Here's what I mean.
Don't even say he's a LeBron character. He's not a LeBron caliber.
He's
player.
a top
What are you
5
talking about?
NBA player.
No, he's not.
I think he is.
Well, you're wrong. That's fine.
What, like top 8?
Yeah, he's top 10, top 8. He's not top 5.
Like there have been years though that he's been like top 5.
No, there's not. No, there hasn't.
Okay, whatever.
I mean, look, they were lucky to make the playoffs that one year, and since then, I mean, his numbers are always going to be great. But what do you want, dude? I mean, if I'm talking super duper stars, he's not one of them. I mean, I can't. There's like 5. He's close. And maybe he'll be one soon, I guess, but I don't know, man.
He's like Kevin Garnett on the Timberwolves, right? Like
they made the playoffs. They made the playoffs every single year.
Yeah, but the Pelicans are even worse.
All right.
There's a whole bunch of stuff.
I mean,
but 24.4 points.
He's awesome.
3 blocks.
He's awesome. Yeah, he
11 rebounds. 54% field goal.
Brad Stevens would have a field day with that guy.
It'd be the best thing.
And my only concern is the injuries.
I mean, my other concern is that he's not nearly as smart as Al Horford, I don't think. Al Horford really is like a maestro, like in terms of getting guys open with those picks. Like he's basically Tim Duncan out there. Like he's like, it's incredible. I mean, like I've always really liked Al Horford, but I didn't know he was this good. You know what I mean? I'm
pretty sure I told you that and you kind of poo-pooed me before.
Dude, I've always loved Al Horford, but look, he's been playing like a top 15 NBA player this year. I didn't know he was that, you know? Like
what I'm telling you is that you're saying that now. He played almost just like this last year. Almost exactly like this last year, except for the rebounding. That's the only thing. The rebounding numbers didn't look as good last year because he didn't have a guy paying beside him. But offensively, he was exactly the same player, and people just did not.
Exactly.
Oh, Isaiah. You can go watch the tape. Why do you think Isaiah got open so much? How do you think Isaiah got so many good looks from mid-range and from 3? The guy's he's awesome. He is.
Yeah, look, I mean, he was great last year.
But so here's my question. Do you think he just learned how to do these screens this summer?
No. I'm saying that like last year was awesome. This year is like, I've always liked Al Horford, right? I've always thought he was super underrated. And you're right. Like last year he was doing a lot of similar things. This year he's just doing them even better and he's rebounding. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying like it's totally radical, like he's a different player. He's always been this player. He's great. He averaged like over 5 assists last year. He's doing it again this year. He's incredible. He orchestrated the offense last year. The offense was great. He was the main reason why Isaiah Thomas had like this incredible year. Totally, I agree. I follow you, right? Like, all I'm saying is like he's doing it even better this year, right? Like he's stepped it up another notch. And he's rebounding.
I think
it's crazy.
I think a big part of the thing about you're saying, we're arguing semantics, I guess, but my thing is like they put better players around him, right? Avery Bradley was fine. He's a really good player. I think we can both agree that Tatum and this year's Jaylen Brown are better than, at least offensively, probably better than, they're better players than Avery Bradley and Jay Crowder, right?
Yeah, that might be it.
Right now. Yeah, I mean, sure, Jay Crowder was great last year.
That's definitely part of it. I think also, like, it's another year. And I think, I think part of it is that he is really given, like, the free reins to do stuff. Because, like, he was one of 4 players who stuck around, right?
No, you know what? You're right. I think another year of comfort in the system makes a big deal.
Well, and there was only 4 guys on the team from last year. Like, and Marcus Smart is, like, being allowed to orchestrate the defense. Al Horford is, like right-hand man on defense and then like being allowed to orchestrate the offense. And like, I think Al Horford, like, they're playing 2 rookies. Those rookies couldn't survive if Al Horford wasn't basically like carrying them in a way, carrying them basketball IQ wise. Like they're really great athletes. They don't look like 19-year-olds, but I'm saying like strategically being in the right places at the right time, Al Horford's responsible for that. I think a lot,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and I guess what I'm saying is like the Celtics are leaning on him even more than they did last year because they're a brand new team and like he's stepped up to the plate. I mean, off court is the Celtics, like Celtics culture. they're a franchise who does things the right way, right? But on court, culturally, Al Horford is like the guy. He was the guy who is bringing success from last year into this year. And I mean, actually, Marcus Smart, too.
Yeah, Marcus Smart and on the like you said, the defensive side, and Al Horford on the offensive side, those are the two tone setters.
Yeah. Dude, I love those guys. I love both of those guys. They're great.
I tried to tell you, man. I told you all this last year.
Dude, come on, man. I love the Celtics. You know that.
Whoa. I don't go that far with it.
But, like, you get what I'm saying, right? Like, I mean, we're on the same page as far as the Celtics. I think Brad Stevens, like, the best coach in the league. I, love Marcus Smart, love Al Horford. Thought KYRIE was going to be MVP. I predicted KYRIE for MVP at the start of this year. I mean, it's not, yeah, you've been saying this for a while, but, like, I mean, I've been saying it too, right?
Whatever.
You want to wrap this up?
Yeah, it's pretty
Dude, I thought
shitty
this
pod
was a
anyway.
really good podcast, if you ask me.
Yeah, because you were just I let you fucking wax poetic about my team. Hold on, you never. I meant to ask you, what do you think about your boy Dennis Smith Jr.?
I'm no different from where I was at the start of the season. Like, enticing potential, but it's like 1 in 100 when you talk about that type of superstar being really able to be the best player on a championship team. Derrick Rose for like 3 years, right? It's like Russell Westbrook, but then for every one of those guys, you've got an Eric Bledsoe or Steve Francis or Stephon Marbury. Yeah.
So,
right.
let's talk about this though. Like those same players you just mentioned, Steve Francis and especially Stephon Marbury, those two. If you put them with the right coach, then their career is totally different.
I'm not sure that's true, but
you don't think so?
I think like in some cases
dude.
it's true, and if that coach was Brad Stevens, like, yeah, he would figure it out. But most places in NBA history, I don't think they're going to work. It's sort of like Boogie. Like, if Boogie was on the Spurs, sure, he would work. But there's 29 other teams, like, and you can't expect.
No, it's not just the Spurs. You don't think Brad Stevens would be good with Boogie? If say rookie Boogie,
well, yeah,
you give him
like, okay,
so rookie Boogie, you give him to Coach Bud. Freaking,
I still think he just does whatever the fuck he wants. Like, Coach Bud doesn't work.
Or like Carlisle.
No, man, I think he doesn't work. Like, the same thing happened with Rondo. I think, like, Brad Stevens, Popovich, those are the two guys.
I think Kevin McHale could have got through.
Look what's happening with Nerlens Noel. Like,
I think Kevin McHale could have got through to him. I think Kevin McHale and Boogie would have got along for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Kevin McHale's big man, loves big man. I think he'd have got through to him. Not saying the team would have been good, but I think he would have got through Boogie. With Kevin McHale?
Yeah, when Kevin McHale was coaching the Rockets.
Yeah, because Dwight was a fucking 12-year vet by then. I said as a rookie.
Yeah, dude, I just, like, I don't see it. Like, it's like what you were saying with Melo earlier, right? It's like, you know.
Even with Melo, I think you get the right coach got a hold of Melo. If the right coach had got a hold of Melo from the get-go, we're talking about Melo in a completely different way.
Well, I mean, if Melo in his prime, like, if they had just put he could have been exactly the same player, and then if there was just a better team around him, like, they could have really contended.
Yeah, they got to the Western Conference Finals with freaking Chauncey Billups,
right?
You know,
yeah,
and Melo, which is
right.
Not,
yeah, like yeah. I think Melo, you don't have to like alter him; you just have to put a better team around him. But I think like Boogie, you know, if you really want to get the most out of him, he just has to be a different player. And like, how do you?
I disagree, man. Because he's not different than he was. He's just playing like he's playing with better talent in New Orleans. And sure, they're not winning a lot, but he looks so much better because you put better players around good players, they're going to look better. So, like, I think a big thing with Boogie was, you know, he just didn't have anybody to give him any structure from his rookie year, and they kind of let him run wild, and that's kind of, it didn't ruin him, but, like, that's why he had so many, maybe, personality conflict problems early on. You know what I'm saying? I think coaches, you know, players, they crave that discipline, and he never really got it.
Here's what I'll say, right? I don't know about the start of this year, like, at the start of his career, like, that's up in the air. You know, he's like a 19-year-old kid, like, you know, when I was 19, like, I was a lot different, right? Like, it's a malleable time. Perhaps you're right. But right now, I think that if he ended up on the Celtics, he would end up being a great player. And if he ended up with the Spurs, he would end up being a great player. But other than that, he is who he is.
Well, I agree with that. I'm saying it's nature versus nurture. And I think a lot of a player's first couple of years forms who they become down the road. It's very rare a player just makes a 180 4 or 5 years in.
Dude, I really think Boogie's going to end up on the Celtics. I'm just like saying it, man. I think that he's the because like you don't want to give up Tatum. You don't want to give up Brown. Like, you're just going to go, like, Kyrie, like, you're just going to replace Al Horford with Boogie, I think. Like, Boogie's a smart guy, and I think that it's the ultimate heat check from Danny Ainge in terms of, like, you know, we're going to fix this guy. We're going to, like, make him amazing.
Now, the reason it won't happen, I don't think Danny Ainge is taking that kind of risk.
Dude, he's taken big risks before.
What's the biggest risk he's taken before?
I mean, trading the first round pick, like, I mean, he
I really think I really believe he believes in his scouting staff.
All right,
I really believe that they believe in there's. I don't think you take that big a risk. That's putting all your eggs in one basket, and I don't know if he's willing to do that.
Look, dude, Boogie is about to be a free agent. If you sign him into cap space, like, you're getting him for free. It's like Gordon Hayward, right?
No one has it. We don't have that cap space.
Well, you clear it. You make room.
There's no way they're clearing that much cap space.
Get rid of Al Horford.
And again, that's not. He's making $28 million a year.
What's your point?
I don't see where that goes. No one's taking that from Al Horford.
I don't know.
So I mean, you want it to happen. I get it. It's just they're that's it. They're capped out right now.
What do you think about, like, Al Horford to the Rockets?
Why?
That'd be fucking incredible, I think.
For the Rockets? Yeah.
That's exactly what they want to do, too. I think Morey would make that trade.
Oh, yeah, fuck that guy. No, but see, no, like, you got, like, they're both, I think they're both, the salary, so they can't just, how would they do it? What would they send it back?
I don't know. Like, you make it work. I don't know. But if there's a way, Danny Ainge will figure it out. It's like a long shot, like, dark horse prediction, right? Like, I have a feeling in my bones that it's going to be Boogie to the Celtics. I got a feeling, you know, like, I just feel it.
I just don't see how they make it work.
Like, I just feel like it's gonna happen, man. We don't see how they're gonna make it work, but
like, again, I'm not talking about on court. I just, money wise, I don't see how they're gonna make that work. Because if I'm not giving it one of my fucking kids, I'm happy.
So
I don't see it. I don't know.
If you're the Clippers and you've gone all in on Blake Griffin, right? Like, you've invested, you've sold the farm for him, and would you accept DeAndre Jordan if he's like, you know, I'm out at the end of this year? Would you accept DeAndre Jordan for Al Horford? You might, right? You might. You think about it.
Why?
They just signed Gallo, right? Like, I'm just saying, like, that's a Clippers.
No,
move.
I'm asking, like that's a big downgrade for Boston.
Okay, yeah, I agree, but, like, DeAndre expires, like, at the end of the year, right? Get Boogie. And if you don't get Boogie, you re-sign DeAndre and, like, whatever.
No, because I don't want to pay DeAndre fucking $25 million a year.
Well, then, like, you let him walk, but, like, really you're investing in that free agent money.
So, no, again, this is I hate these arguments, because instead of just saying, oh, they have a good team, they want to keep that good team. Everyone wants to be this GM where they start flipping and doing all the machinations. Yeah, you don't let somebody, like, you're not going to trade Al Horford, who's under contract for, well, shit, I guess it's only this year and then one more year. But still.
And he's getting older, man. Like, and you need your center of the future.
His game is not predicated on his athleticism. And then, you know, again, the reason, why did he trade for Kyrie? Because he said, I owe it to Gordon Hayward and Al Horford. You don't just say, oh, well, let me try to get this other little asset and we're going to downgrade the position, but we can just let him walk when he's gone too. That's just not how Ainge handle assets, man. He's not going to flip Al Horford for DeAndre and then say, oh, DeAndre wants too much money, I'm going to let him walk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just said it yourself.
Well, no,
Al
you
Horford,
let DeAndre walk if, like, if you get Boogie.
All right. Well, no, you're not letting him walk if you get Boogie. All right.
Yeah, you let him walk if you get Boogie.
I understand that part, but I thought you were saying you're going to try to trade him for Boogie, but you're saying let him walk, get the cap space to try to sign Boogie.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. See, again, and these are giant risks you're taking, and there's no way Ainge is going to do that.
Dude, it's like a heat check. Yeah. I'm not saying, like, I think it's going to happen. I just said, like, I've just got, like, that gut feeling that it's going to happen, but, like, it's insane. You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. It'd be pretty cool, I guess.
It'd be so swag. It'd be so dope. Let's see. Boogie, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Kyrie. Oh my god.
Hey man, just do me a favor. Don't ever use the word swag like that again.
It'd be chill.
That sounded so fucking. That sounded so Caucasian. Don't do that.
It would be. What, killer? Can I say killer?
Yeah, that's fine. Just not. It would be so swag. Just not do that.
How about this? It would be sick, gnarly, and twisted. Fuck yeah. Is that good? Can I say that?
I mean, that's it. That's how you normally talk. I don't get why you wouldn't say that.
Dude, I thought, man, it's so good to talk about basketball. I've been so stressed out. Thank you, James.
Whatever. Bob Pod's dead.
I feel, God, I hope not. But either way, it was good talking to you. Yeah, actually, this was like therapy to me. I just needed.
Oh man, we didn't even get to make fun of Lonzo Ball.
You mean Lonzo bust?
I'm not gonna do that yet. Did you read the fucking article by The Ringer?
No, what was that?
It was just gross, man. It was weird. I thought The Ringer had a little more fucking sense than that.
Dude, just Bill Simmons doesn't have any class. Come on. I mean, I love Bill Simmons.
It's not him. He is. Hey, my guy Kevin O'Connor's over there. I like him. I like the fucking I like the NBA pod they do. Him and my man Chris Vernon.
Look, but I like The Ringer. I like that podcast too. All I'm saying is that's a Ringer type thing to do, right?
Well, no, this wasn't. That's what's funny. They write some shit that might be eye catching, but no, some guy did a statistical analysis of how in the first 10 games you can tell if a guy's gonna be a bust or not, based on these all past players, and then he tried to attach that.
Oh yeah, that article. Yeah,
to Markelle Fultz. It was actually Fultz, not fucking Ball, and that's just fucking gross, man. That was stupid.
I think that's the type of thing The Ringer does. But at Snotty Drippin', that's James. At Almighty Ballin', that's me. Hopefully BodPod's not dead. I think I've just been busy making moves.
I'm not making fun of Ball. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to say that. It's just I like being right, and I was right about everything I thought about him. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was talking about him earlier today with some guys, but yeah. Well, so here's some BodPod content coming to you, the listener. Good night, everyone. Tune in next time.
You're the worst, Chris.
Why? Why are you saying that?
I don't know. Just because you're the fucking worst.